Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's, and here we have our Autel MK906. So I had a lot of people ask questions about this, and I'd like to just maybe show people around it. So when you open the case, this is what's inside. You've got different compartments here, adapters, more adapters. So you can pull down these pins, unlock them, open up, and then we've got just different adapters inside there. Mitsubishi, VW, Benz, BMW, GM, Nissan, Kia, PSA, Fiat and Honda. So one of the main things with this being the BT model, which means Bluetooth, is that you can use it with the Bluetooth dongle here. This one. It's got a little light inside, so if you're looking up into dark places, trying to get it in, makes it a little bit easier. So that's that VCI there, like that. Good thing about this one is, I've noticed that on some other brands these are a little bit fatter, which some cars struggle to get these in. This one's nice and slim, so it does fit any car that I've tried to get it into. Over here you got the little booklets, quick start guides that it comes with. It's got auto VIN reading, auto scan. You get a year's free updates. And again here on the quick start guide you can see about pre-scans and post-scan reports that you can save, and then you can actually wirelessly print these or email them, which is handy I suppose, but I never really got around to using that, to be honest. Then you just got all of this here: data login, remote support, shop manager, quick start guide again, connecting to the Wi-Fi. Now if we open this panel here for the accessories, I've just got some of the wires. So this is not brand new. I've had this for a couple of months now, this one. It's got the in-car charger there, and then it's got this cable for the VCI that just plugs in. That's on a USB cable there, so you can connect the USB there, you can connect the VSI, sorry, directly onto the unit there, so it's a more safer connection for some vehicles. It will ask you to do that. So if we try to connect this up to a car now, you can see you got the little torch there just to find where you're looking. So obviously some of these OBD points are in dark places, and once you've got it connected you'll get these lights come up. So now we've got the unit here switched on. So when we turn on the key to the vehicle that we're plugging it into, we should get a little beep once it's connected. Let's turn that radio down. So this is the normal menu here that you come onto. You got all of the different settings here that you can press. You got system settings, you can go to an internet browser. You've got all sorts of other stuff, tools. And so if we click into here, this is just one of the most ones that we're going to use really. The other stuff you don't really use that often. So you got data manager, shop manager, service if you're doing service, resets for oil, electronic park and brakes, TPMS for the tires, battery monitoring, DPFs, brake bleeding, all of that. You can hear that beep that was down there, and you get a green tick down here. That means that the VCI has connected. See what else we've got. So obviously, all of this is going to depend on the car that you've got it in question. Odometer now, this usually doesn't really work on a lot of vehicles, to be honest. Let's go through. We've got Mercedes-Benz. Let's see what options it gives you. Now it depends on what car you plug this into. It will give you different options for different cars. No matter what it is that you're looking to do, if you plug it into one car and then you plug it into a different one, sometimes you get completely different sort of options on the menu. So that there's just giving you a readout of what car we are in, and gives you the VIN number there, which is handy. So now it brings you in here. Let's have a look at the instrument cluster. Let's just see what it says it can do. Now the one thing I will say about Autel and Mercedes is that when you're doing diagnostics, anything like that, it does take quite a long time to actually get connected. So confirmation of service, reset general maintenance. So that's all you can do there in the instrument cluster really. That just relates back to normal servicing. So let's go back, exit that. Go. That's telling me to remove the VCI because we've actually exited the diagnostic. So we're going to go to Mercedes here. You can type in at the top Mercedes-Benz. So you can actually type it in on the search bar. So this is giving you an option to do standalone diagnostics or the pre and post records. So we don't want the pre and post records. Automatic selection. We're going to read the VIN. Now 99% of cars this will automatically read the VIN. There are certain ones that it won't work on. Most recently I noticed it wouldn't work on a Honda. Get that to focus. So if we look at the time down there, it's 13:40. You can see how long in minutes that this actually takes to actually get connected. So I'll pause for a minute. Now we're running an auto scan. It's took about a minute so far, which wasn't bad really. Now depending on what car you plug this into, some cars it works almost instantly, and some cars can take 5 minutes. You can see there we're on 8%. So we'll let it run 100% scan and see how long that takes. So we've just completed the 100% scan there, and we are now on 13:45, so it's taken about 4 minutes for that. We can go into the fault codes here that are in the car now and see what we can do with these codes. So now we're into this menu. You got read the trouble codes, special function programming. Let's go and read the trouble codes first. And surprise, surprise there, Mercedes with a NOx sensor fault, cylinder 1, bank 1. Now surprisingly enough, didn't even realise that fault was there because this car hasn't got any sort of warnings on the dashboard apart from the reserve fuel level there. Everything is fine. We've got the flat tire sign there. So that's quite surprising there that none of those faults have actually triggered any warnings off on this car. We can try and erase them and see what happens. So they have erased. Now it is likely that they were an old fault codes because there isn't anything actually on the car. So we've got teach in progress. Let's see what we've got here. Teaching of the particle filter. You got activate the fuel pump. Now that would be a very handy option for if you've got a car, for instance, that has had the wrong fuel put in it, and you could get in here, activate the fuel pump, disconnect one of the fuel lines, and then that would actually just pump all of the actual fuel out. Teaching in of the throttle valve. You can see all of the rest of it there. Reset the learn values of the NOx sensor. That's all the rest. You've got AdBlue meter and values there. You got the option there to allow the car to start after a crash, which again is another handy option. Now you will find that when you plug this into different cars, you will see all sorts of different options for different cars. Some of them will give you more options, some will give you less. Now we've went to the special functions and we've done the trouble codes. Active test means bi-directional control really, so you can, same thing again, you can switch on like your fuel pump. Let's see what else we've got here. Glow plugs, exhaust recirculation actuator, so you can actually press that and see if the actuators are moving, which is a good way to test stuff. But obviously here you can see that not everything is on here, so you got a compression test. Let's see what that can do. Ignition on, combustion engine at a standstill, the parking brake is applied. Yes, let's continue. So we can see there now we've got some options of what this can do. Well, timeout has occurred. Let's just escape from that. Turn the ignition off. So basically, that's all I can show you there relating to what I can do with this car. Again, we can go through the options here and show you what cars it has in the list. So you got there Ford, Nissan, Vauxhall, going all the way across. You can read all of what's there. More on the list. Bugatti. Never even heard of some of these. M Grand Geely or Geely, is that? I've never even heard of some of these brands. Some Chinese brands. Dongfeng. Brilliance Auto. That's a good one. But as you can see there, so you got all sorts of different Chinese brands as well as the normal European and American brands that you'd normally see. Fuso there. Hino, which are the trucks. Volkswagen LT3, even got Lamborghini, Bentley, some of the more posher brands or whatever you'd like to call them. Bugatti there, which is obviously a very special sort of brand. Would be handy if Andrew Tate pops in for a service. And again there you can see that it's got a lot of truck brands on here like MAN, Daewoo and Hino, Tata. I've never actually plugged this into a truck, so I'm not too sure if it even works or what it can do. Now, what I can mention is what I've always thought, which is a bit weird with these Autels, is about 8 years ago when I first got my first Autel, all of these brands would actually be in the brand color. So the Ford would be in blue and it would have the proper Ford symbol there. The Nissan would have the proper Nissan symbol, and then I remember about 8 years ago, I'd done an update on I think it was a DS708. Now we're back out on the main menu here. We can go to different sort of options here. You got Shop Manager, Vehicle History, which will go back and show you some of the cars that you've worked on, which is handy if you want to go back to want to have a quick look at one of the previous cars that you've been to. So if we go see here, I don't know if we need to plug that back in to see what the faults were on this. Oh no, there you go. So it gives you all a list of the faults. So if you did plug a car in and you wanted to go back and actually think, oh yeah, well, what were the codes? I should have saved them. So it's handy. It's handy for that because it keeps a record of that. You can actually go back in and find what sort of codes you were looking at on the last vehicle. And then up at the top here, you got option for that was the diagnostic reports, and then you can go back to the battery reports that you've done, and then obviously there's not as many as those, and then the service options that you've went into as well. Workshop information, you can save all of your workshop information in there and all that. So what else have we got in settings? Printer, you can connect a printer. Car order, I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, sorted by, you can have sorted by the frequency of use or alphabetical order. Then you can go updates, system settings, all of that. So a couple of things I will add about this particular model. You see the red colour, which is not normally what you'd normally see for Autel in the UK, Europe. This is an import model basically, so it is intended for sale as an import basically. That's why you got the red colour. So you'd normally get a different sort of brands of these in a grey colour, maybe with a slightly different model number. But this one I ordered just because it was a good price and it had the Bluetooth connection on it. You can see there it's asking for one update. Let's go in there and see what it wants. It wants a program update, system program. So let's press that. Press OK, and we'll download the update. If you slide through here, you got some other options for all of this sort of stuff. The remote desk. I've never used any of that sort of stuff, to be honest. Maxi Fix. We've got a Maxi Scope app there which you can connect, and the inspection one. I have got the camera for that, which we do use. Camera's not connected right now. I can connect that soon, and we have the battery tester as well that you can connect. So this right here is the battery tester. Sorry, you got the obviously red and blue, red and black, positive and negative cables. So I think that's pretty much it on the Autel here on this one. If there's any questions, I suppose you can just put them in the comments, and we'll see you on one of the next videos.